Hi everyone, Mr. Hassel here, principal of Scituate High School, and I'm thrilled today to offer you this virtual walkthrough of our school. We are so excited to welcome our students back on September 14th into Scituate High School. Today, I'd like to show you some of the changes, upgrades, and safety protocols that we've put in place to make sure that every student, staff member, visitor, parent is safe when we're back in school. Okay, here we are. We're in our senior lot. You can take a peek over here. Our class of 2021 spent some time this summer socially distancing and making these beautiful parking lot paintings here. So we're excited to welcome the class of 2021, our senior class, back at Scituate High School on September 14th. When they arrive here, they're going to park in these spots. Any other drivers are going to park in the junior lot. Once you come here, we're going to work with Mrs. Caparco and Ms. Hart to make sure that you get your car registered and a parking pass during the first week of school. Let's go take a tour of the school. Come on. We're in the auditorium lobby. A reminder that Scituate High School will be using a staggered start when we begin on September 14th. Students in the high school who have a last name of A through K will be in Group A. That Group A is expected to arrive to school in person the week of September 14th. They will spend the entire week here, Monday through Friday. The students who have a last name L through Z will be categorized in Group B. That Group B on September 14th will not physically come into school. They will be opening up their Chromebook and they will be participating in their learning live. The teacher will open that Chromebook, their face is going to be on there, they're going to be instructing the live students from home, and then also the physical Group A students in person. The next week we're going to swap. Group B will come in person while Group A stays at home and virtually learns. Our goal is to do this through October 14th, and at that time we'll readjust and make our plan and either move to 100% or review the data and make a different plan. When you come here on September 14th or September 21st, if you're a bus rider, those buses are going to show up in two locations. In order to cut down on flow in our hallways, the bus could unload underneath the auditorium lobby here or in the main lobby, which you'll see in a second. If you see behind me, there are some new signages that we've put all over the school. These are released by the CDC, the Department of Health, and the Department of Education. We're in compliance to open our school, reminding people of the symptoms of COVID-19 and also reminding people that they must wear a mask. When students arrive, there is a big change that I need everyone to know. 7:35 is when these exterior doors will be open. We will not be opening our school doors until 7:35. The reason for this, again, is so that teachers are here, they're available in their classroom, and students can walk right down the halls into those classrooms and be safe. So let's take a peek inside and see some of the changes that we've made within the high school. Okay, here we are. We're in our auditorium lobby. Some students who are seniors and they drove themselves in, they'll be coming down here. These doors will be propped open at 7:35. Students who choose to ride the bus, again, they might be dropped off here in the auditorium and they're going to come into this lobby here. If you notice down here on the floor, we have purchased and installed these one-way arrows. Part of the guidelines in order to reopen our school and our plan was to have those one-way hallways. This is to ensure that students and faculty and staff, they're not facing each other and they're not getting those potential COVID aerosols into the air directly into their eyes, nose, or mouth. Again, a reminder, per the governor's orders, all students and staff are required to wear their face masks at all times once school starts. And we'll talk a little bit later about some mask breaks that we built into the day. So again, all of those hallways will be one way. Students will get off the bus close to 7:35 and we'll walk down this one-way hallway. So let's keep going and I'll show you a little bit more of the school. Here I am. We just walked down the auditorium lobby. We're pretending that we just arrived here at school, again following those one-way hallways with those signs. Not only will they be one way, but students must try to stay 6 feet apart when passing in the hallway. Hallways are only going to be designated to getting from one place to another. You'll see later in this video that we have zip tied our lockers shut. Part of the guidelines, again, to reopen those schools encourage schools to zip tie those lockers, and students will be allowed to carry backpacks with them instead. Some students, depending on the flow and what bus they're on, they'll be actually entering the school during arrival in this lobby, as we typically have in the past. Again, all of these doors will be monitored and opened at 7:35. A little bit about the buses. If students are opting to take the bus this year, our bus company has explained that the windows will be open whenever possible to encourage new airflow in there. So if there's a chilly morning, we're reminding students to wear their jackets, sweatshirts, gloves, hats, whatever they need on that bus ride. Let's keep going. Here we are, we're in our gymnasium lobby. As students walk in, again, they're going to follow those signs, they're going to walk right in. I do want to point out that we're very excited. We signed up with a program called Screen Cloud. All of our monitors throughout the school, we have about 6 of them, will be displaying important information, reminders about social distancing, and they'll be interactive. So we're very excited to launch that this year. Students will now come into the main hallway. You can see some more of these signs. We have some stop, do not enter signs on the floor, indicating that that would be a wrong way for students. We also have wrong way signs up at every hallway, and you can see some directional keep your distance and showing students and staff which way is that hallway there. We're going to make sure that when students arrive on the first day that they are supported. We're actually looking into a pilot group of our class officers to come in and walk the building next week to give us any feedback or concerns. We want to hear from students because, you know, it's all about students and having them feel safe and having clear guidance on what to do once they get here. So students will come in the morning again and they'll follow that one-way hallway. Down here is actually our main office. Mrs. Gallagher is our school administrative assistant. She's here, she's working. We thank her for her work this summer, getting ready for the school year. We have masks for all students. Students must arrive to school with a mask on their own. They can bring one if they feel more comfortable, whether that's a cloth mask, something that they're washing every single night. But if a student maybe breaks a mask or needs some more, we have hundreds of boxes of masks ready to go, and Mrs. Gallagher has those in the high school office ready to distribute. Here we are in the 200s hallway. It used to be called the B corridor. Our computer science lab is on this wing, also some of our world language classes and some English classes as well. Also our main bathrooms are here as well. Students will actually have a digital hall pass if they need to use the bathroom or go see the nurse. We're working on a digital hall pass that there'll be more information for. Our bubblers are here, our water fountains. Students will not be able to actually put their mouth near this or drink, but a couple of years ago we have actually replaced all of these, and students are encouraged to bring in their own water bottles and fill it up here. It's completely safe and we're still up to code. Right, here we are, we're in one of our classrooms. This is an English classroom, and you can see because we've moved to that staggered start, our rosters of students are going to be 15 or less. That's allowing us to space these desks out 6 feet apart. In a 100% back model, we're unable to space those desks 6 feet apart. So again, adding that extra layer of safety. This is actually one of the smallest high school classrooms in the school, and we were able to easily space the desks 6 feet apart. We had our state visit this week where the Department of Health came through. We worked with our buildings and ground supervisor, Robert Correnti, and the superintendent, and we have the green light. They looked at our ventilation system. We know that fresh air is coming into every single classroom and every space that students and staff will be. In addition, we've purchased, again as another layer, a box fan for every classroom. Every classroom will have their window open with a box fan facing up, bringing that fresh air and that movement of air into the classroom and hopefully keeping students safe as well. When students are here, it's important that they're all facing the same direction. Our teacher will be here and he or she will be opening their Chromebook and they'll be teaching again synchronously and asynchronously. Students who are here in front of them, and also students who opted to distance learn, or students who maybe are in that A-B group and they're learning from home as well. All right, you can see that we've traveled into the high school cafeteria. Students in the high school will have 4 lunch waves. Those students will be divided up. You can see we've taken some extra desks out of the classrooms and we put them in here. Again, this is so that students are facing the same way. Students will be allowed to safely take down their mask once they're sitting, just like if you've been to restaurants during the governor's phases. You are allowed to sit down once you have your food, take down your mask, face that one way, eat, drink, do what you need to do, and then safely put that mask on and leave. We've staggered our lunch time, so when lunch 1 is over, the bell will ring, lunch 1 will leave, students will go back to their classes. After the students are in their classes and the hallways are cleared, lunch wave 2 will then come in. So we no longer will have students passing each other or interacting with each other as we go by. The district has opted to provide cold lunches. We will not be providing hot lunches at this time. So students are encouraged to bring their own lunch, or they could still buy a cold lunch following the socially distancing rules. Students who receive free or reduced lunch will still have that opportunity, both in person and if they opted to distance learn, and you'll see more information about that in the coming days. Not only will students have the opportunity to eat in the high school cafeteria, but we also have the middle school cafeteria for lunch waves as well. We're able to fit about 40 to 50 students in here, and that will allow us to have 2 locations, the high school cafeteria and the middle school. High school students have a direct path to that middle school cafeteria where they will not be interacting with those middle schoolers, and middle school students will be eating in the classroom, freeing up that space. Students may also have the opportunity to eat outside. The CDC has released guidelines saying that being outside is a good thing when it comes to COVID, so we're encouraging students to go eat outside, again, socially distanced. We're working on potentially getting some tents outside as well, so students could eat lunch even if it's raining outside, and we're looking forward to that. We're also hoping that teachers could have the opportunity to take their classes outside. If it's a nice day and a teacher so chooses, we're going to hopefully have some outdoor classrooms set up around the campus. We are now here at the nurses station. Mrs. Grotska is the middle school, high school nurse, and she was also on the reopening team for the district, and she has been invaluable. She has been partnering with the Rhode Island Department of Education, the Rhode Island Department of Health, the CDC, and she is up to date on a daily basis of protocols and procedures when it comes to students who may be test positive for COVID-19. We are to, as a school, follow those protocols. If a student is displaying symptoms, it'll be very clearly posted to teachers, students, and parents in our community of what those protocols are. We also have an isolation room. That isolation room will be for those students who Mrs. G feel maybe they're displaying one or more of those COVID symptoms. They'll be placed in that isolation room until a parent or guardian can pick them up, and then they'll be brought for testing, and the Department of Health will be contacted. The Department of Health will also be our liaison with Mrs. G in looking at contact tracing. If a student is tested positive, the Department of Health will make that decision of who gets notified and who potentially has to quarantine. You'll see that we put zip ties on all of these lockers per the guidance from reopening and the CDC. This, again, hallways are going to be from moving from one classroom to another classroom. Again, for high school students, middle school students will stay in those stable pods. Let's go look at parent pickup. Here we are, we're at the entrance of the middle school. As we have done in the past, this door will be identified as parent drop-off in the morning. If you're opting to drop off your high schooler or middle schooler, you'll go around the auditorium, around the building, and then you'll wait in line here until it's safe to drop off your child. They'll then come in through these doors and again follow those one-way hallways right to their first classroom. So this is the end of our walk-through tour of Scituate High School. At the end of the day, we have staggered our dismissal. We'll start with the middle school. Middle school will be dismissed by grade level every 3 minutes, and the high school will be dismissed by hallway. Again, this is to cut down on the amount of students who are in the hallways all at the same time. Again, those students who are going home with a parent will go to the middle school entrance, and those students who are taking the bus will come out this way back to the buses using these 2 doors here. We also are going to be sending out a lot of information in the next couple of days. We're working on a student and parent Google Slides presentation. It's up to about 50 slides at this point, and it'll have all of the information that you would need if you're distance learning, if you're coming to the school in person, and what all these protocols will look like. Again, when students show up, we're going to make sure that they understand what's happening, they understand the safety protocols in place, And we understand that this is a really tough time for teachers, for students, and especially for parents as well. But we are so excited here at Scituate High School to welcome you to the 2020-2021 school year. I know it's going to look different. We're going to need a lot of flexibility from students. If there's any questions as the school year starts, feel free to reach out to me, and we'll make sure that we get your questions answered and we make people feel safe. Let's go Spartans!